Let's be real for a second. Most, admittedly not all, SDRs want to be promoted to an account executive. Stop having to make 100 cold calls a day and start actually closing deals and making the big bucks.
Cause I wanna make bank, bro.
But how do you intentionally go about doing that, especially during economic crisis when promotions don't seem that common? Well, here are the 6 things that you need to be thinking about if you want to get promoted from an SDR, BDR to an account executive. The first thing is that you can't just expect to have the promotion handed to you. You need to make a plan and make your intentions very clear. So, in your next one-on-one, if you haven't already, communicate your goals to be an account executive to your manager. Ask them what it's going to take for you to get there. Create a smart plan that's going to have tangible, measurable goals, normally related to your performance, and a time frame to hit those goals. And if you hit those goals in that time frame, then you get the reward, the goal that you're looking for, the promotion. Get them to agree to that, write it down, and then you've got an actionable plan and commitment from your boss to help you get to your goal of being promoted to an account executive. Just do not fall into the trap of assuming that's going to come to you, and then make sure you talk about that goal often, because believe it or not, your manager's top priority isn't getting you a promotion. They've got their own things to worry about. Maybe they're seeking a promotion. Maybe they're trying to manage the team performance. You need to be the one who holds them accountable for helping you deliver on the goals that you have agreed. Then the second thing is performance. This is kind of obvious. Over deliver, exceed expectations, be the best. Now let's not kid ourselves. Times right now are quite rough. You're not always going to be able to control the outcome. Meetings booked, the number of meetings that get qualified. But at the very least, what you can do is make sure that everything you put in is elite tier. I mean the quantity and quality of the activity that you do. The number of calls that you make, what you say on those calls, the number of prospects that you're connecting with, the number of emails you're sending, and the quality of those emails. The other thing you can do is taking on initiative. The reality is being an SDR doesn't actually equip you very well to be an account executive. Sure, some account executives need to prospect, but that's only a really small part of the puzzle, the responsibilities that an account executive has. Their main activity is discovery, demos, presentations, managing their pipeline, building business cases, negotiating, multi-threading. So get ahead of that and start trying to learn the skills required to excel as an account executive. Seek out additional training, whether that's internally or externally. Volunteer yourself for additional responsibilities. Lead and coach your peers. Ingrain yourself in the company's culture and listen during sales meetings. Read books. Some of my favorites: Gap Selling, You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar, and The Transparency Sale. Shadow your account executives, or maybe listen to their call recordings so you can kind of learn through osmosis. An obvious one, subscribe to SalesFeed. A lot of the content we make here is for account executives, namely our playlist called Sales Stuff Explained. We cover discovery calls, demos, negotiations, and proposals. Great content, and it's not shit. Another thing you can do is get a mentor, someone who's made that transition from SDR to account executive who can teach you what they learned along the way. People are really generous with their time, especially when you ask them for help, so reach out to someone who looks like a good fit on LinkedIn and maybe ask them if they're willing to mentor you a little bit. You need to make sure that you work for a company that has the potential for some upward movement. Do they promote from within? Are the majority of their account executive hires external or internal? Is the company moving in a good direction economically, i.e. are they going to want to expand their sales team? How many SDRs have made the move from SDR to account executive in the past 12 months? This is something that you can observe while working at a company, or better yet, you can ask these questions of your hiring manager during your interview process to decide on whether or not they're a good company to work for. If you do decide that leaving your company and joining a new one is the best move for you, then just make sure you do your due diligence. That said, one of the biggest mistakes I see from SDRs is they get impatient. They get bored or restless at one company, and another company comes along and says, well, look, we're going to promote you to an account executive in just 6 months. Beware. This is a recruitment strategy. A lot of people jump from SDR position to SDR position to SDR position because a lot of companies promise that you're going to get promoted to account executive, but it's actually not realistic. The reality is, by leaving the role that you're in, you may just end up resetting the clock. So unless you just don't see a future or any potential promotion at your current company, don't up and leave your current job. You're not going to get promoted from an SDR to an account executive in 2 weeks. It's going to take some time, on average between 12 and 18 months. So as long as you're working for a company that you know has that potential for you, and you've agreed with your manager that you're going to get there eventually, and you've maybe made a plan with them, then it's time to get patient and stay motivated. Bring the right mindset. Avoid complaining and be exceptional. To me, an exceptional person has the following 6 traits. They're able to move on. They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves when things don't go their way. They embrace change. They welcome new challenges rather than avoiding them. They stay happy and positive. They don't waste their energy on things outside of their control by being negative. They are willing to take calculated risks. And they put other people on a pedestal. They celebrate other people's success rather than being envious envious and resenting other people for doing better than them. You've got this. By being here watching this video, I can already tell that you're the type of person who's willing to go and find the information required to get to where they need to be. Please do hit me up on LinkedIn if you need any pointers, motivation, guidance, or advice. Peace, love, like, and subscribe.